Alright guys, get out your note sheet. I'll wait. Alright, today we are learning how to solve two-step equations with large fraction bars, or grouping symbols. So if you remember, we've got a couple of different grouping symbols. We've got a fraction bar, parentheses, and brackets. Whenever you have these grouping symbols, you must deal with those before you try to move variables to one side and constants to the opposite side. Okay. So somebody tell me, if I'm looking at x plus 2 over 4 equals 3, what does that large fraction bar tell me? That it's division. It's dividing by 4. So what do we do when we're solving regular 1, 2, and multi-step equations whenever we wanted to get rid of something? You do the inverse operation. So here, if I want to get rid of this fraction bar and make it just a whole number, I have to do the opposite. So that means I've got to multiply both sides by what? 4, because I'm trying to get rid of that 4 so that it's not a fraction anymore. So that means I'm multiplying both sides by 4. So that's step number 1, fill in that blank. Remove the large fraction bar by multiplying both sides by the denominator, which in this case is 4, but in every case it's not going to be 4. So we're going to get rid of that large fraction bar by multiplying both sides by the denominator. So when to actually do the multiplication, that means that these 4's on the left-hand side, those cancel, because they really turn into a 1, right? So it leaves me with x plus 2 equals what? 12. You have to remember to actually multiply those two numbers together. Don't just bring down that 3. Okay. So I have x plus 2 equals 12. So if I look at my second step, it says to get the variables to one side. In this case, that's already done for me, because I only have one term with a variable. So I can kind of skip step 2. Step 3 tells me to undo the addition or the subtraction. So what am I undoing here?
2.
The positive 2, the addition, by subtracting 2 from both sides. So when I subtract 2 from both sides, that leaves me with x on the left-hand side and 10 on the right-hand side. So x equals 10. I didn't have any multiplication or division to undo, but if I did, I would do that after undoing my multiplication and my addition and subtraction. And then what's that final step of solving the problem? Final step of solving the problem. Actually solving for x, which was already done for me by subtracting both sides, right? Yeah. But you've got to actually solve for the variable. Once I solve for the variable, then I need to check it. If you were going on Dolphin Island, you missed the shortcut type of checking. So I know a lot of you are a lot of you are spending way too much time checking your answer, which is important to make sure you know you have the right answer. But it's not important for me to see you write every single step out, okay, like we've been doing in the past, or how we learned to do it. So we're going to have 15 questions on our test. So that means you've got to be able to work 15 equations in one class period. So the only way that I want you, or you can check it the other way if you're fast enough. But if it's taking you forever to do it, all I want you to do is plug it in your calculator. Okay. So if I'm plugging this in my calculator, x equals 10. So that means I have 10 plus 2 equals 12. And then divide by 4, which gives me 3. Okay, so I'm going to write 3 up here above the left-hand side. And then it's also equal to the right-hand side of 3. So I know that my answer is correct. Okay. This is what I want to see from now on out. From now and here on out. I don't know what I was trying to say. Now on out. Here on out. Here on out. That's what it is.
You don't have to write the check and put the equation?
No, this is what I want to see. So you can check it in your head or in your calculator, whichever, but I want to see that both sides are equal to each other. Okay? Guys, quiet. On problems like this, that's x plus 2 on top. You've got to remember that that's one number together, okay? So it has to be done before you divide by 4. Your calculator doesn't know that. So if I punch all this in as one step and I do 10 plus 2 divided by 4, that does not give me the correct answer, okay? So the thing that you have to do, you must remember when you're checking this on your calculator, is you've got to add parentheses around your x plus 2. Yes, Sam? So you've got to open parentheses, 10 plus 2, close your parentheses, and then divide by 4. And it gives you the correct answer of 3. Okay. So you've got to remember those parentheses around the numerators. Questions? All right, let's do example number 2. I've got x minus 9 over negative 2 equals 7. So what is my very first step that I'm doing here?
You multiply negative 2 by both sides.
Multiply both sides by negative 2. So when I do that, it leaves me with x minus 9 on the left-hand side and negative 14 on the right. What do I have to do now?
You add 9 to both sides.
Good. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So those cancel and it leaves me with x is equal to what? Try again. Negative 5. So x equals negative 5. Then I want to come in here and check it. So that means I have negative 5 minus 9 in parentheses divided by negative 2, which equals 7. So 7 equals 7, and I know I'm correct. Okay. Questions on example 1 or 2? All right, we're going to skip example 3 and move on to example 4. So this is just like 1 and 2. All right, so I've got 7g plus 3 over 2 equals 12. So what do I need to do here? What's different about this problem first?
There's a 7 instead of 7.
There's a number in front of that variable. But it doesn't change anything. It just adds an extra step. Okay. So what's my first step? It still stays the same.
12 times 2.
Multiply both sides
By 2.
Well, yeah,
by 2.
back.
So then these 2's cancel, and it leaves me with 7g plus 3 equals what?
24.
24. Don't forget to multiply. So now I have to undo that addition or subtraction. In this case, I'm undoing the addition. So that means I'm subtracting 3 from both sides. Guys, please quit talking. So 7g is equal to what?
21.
21. Now this is where my extra step comes in. But we know how to do this. This is just a one-step problem. So it means I've got to divide both sides by 7. And g equals 3. So when I check it, that means I have 7 times 3 plus 3, all in parentheses, divided by 2, and I get 12. So 12 equals 12. Questions? Are we good?
Yes.
All right, I want y'all to go ahead and do those 3 problems on the back by yourself. and then we will check them. So you got a couple minutes. Go ahead and do those.
Hey, what are those numbers on the back? Z has a line through it.
Yeah, it's z minus 9 over 2 equals 7. I just said it. Z minus 9 over 2 equals 7. Quietly work on these problems. Yes. Max, I've said it 5 times now.
That's not nice.
You're offending my culture.
There is no talking. I don't have another one. You can borrow this one for now. All right, about another minute. All right, what did we get for number 1? 23? We all get 23? Good. That means I'm multiplying both sides by 2, so I get z minus 9 equals 14. And then add 9 to both sides, and z is equal to 23. What about number 2? Everybody get 8?
Yes.
Okay, so we multiply both sides by 6 to get rid of that bar. So I have 4 minus 2 equals 30. Then add 2 to both sides. And 4n is equal to 32. Divide both sides by 4, and n is equal to 8. Questions? Alright, what about number 3? 23. You're multiplying both sides by 4. So 2b plus 2 equals 48. Subtract 2 from both sides. 2b is then equal to 46. Divide by 2, and b is 23. Thank you. Alright, any questions? Alright, I passed out your worksheet for today. So that front side is the easier equations, like numbers 1 and 2 that we did.